We are
Hey,
finally here to video number 9 in this series, and today we are going to finish it up and kind of talk about customer retention and feedback when it comes to scaling your stringing business and kind of building your brand, I guess, to some degree. And so we'll kind of just go over some of the key points. And again, if anybody has any questions or wants follow up on this, please leave it in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please like this video and subscribe so that you won't miss a video. So let's just get right into it. So the 9th video. So we've actually stuck it out to 9. Usually it's hard for me to, keep a series going. So I need to be better at that. So we finally concluded a series. So this is the 9th video. So I'm going to make sure that I go back and put them all in order and everything. And that way you can kind of watch it from beginning to end and so forth. So try to put some value in here for everybody. So it makes it worth your while. So when we're talking about building a good customer relationship, I think it's kind of communication, right? Personal communication, knowing the customer, knowing their playing level, knowing their rackets, kind of knowing what type of player they are, whether they're a baseline player, whether they're a hard hitter, whether they play mostly doubles, what kind of surface they play on, just kind of know them. And I think that goes a long ways because that's kind of like, you're almost like a personal stringer for them, right? So, and I think it's much appreciated when what's going on. You can recommend things. Just personalize it the best that you can.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think it's important that they want consistency. They want to feel like I guess or you can make them feel like, hey, I'm part of your team. You have your coach, you have your support, your family, your whoever drives you to your tournaments, this and that, your coach. I'm your stringer. I'm part of your team. You take an interest in them. Perhaps you go watch a tournament they're in if it's at a local tournament, and just you understand the way they play. You talk to them about their game. How they feel, what type of player they are. Are they hitting a lot of spin? Are they flat? Are they serving volley? Do they have any arm issues? Do they have any discomfort when they play? So just getting to know your client is super important. In addition to what I think is the most important is just to know your product and give them good, quick, consistent service. I think that's the most important thing that people want. They want convenient, quick, good service at a competitive price. They obviously don't want to be charged an arm and a leg if they can go to 3 other shops that are charging 50% less. But I think that's important is to be a great just a great turnaround. They give you the rackets. Hey, I'll have them done in a few hours. I just did that before we got started. A guy came and picked up a racket that I strung that he dropped off 2 hours ago. He lives a mile down the road. So just
exactly. And so, okay, so the first part here, we're talking about building the strong customer relationship. So that's the first one, right? That personalized communication and just kind of knowing them. I think there's kind of just 3 main points here. And the second one, I think, would be loyalty programs. I know we've talked about that before. Do we want to have a loyalty program? And that could be a discount, meaning like string 5, get a free one, or string 5, get a free overgrip, or always give them a free overgrip, or have them the monthly fee that you do, or different packages. And then I think that kind of depends, because you don't want to, labor and stringing is kind of like your bread and butter. I don't think that's really the best way to discounting. That's probably not the best way to go, because you don't want to discount your specialty, but you want to give your customer something that they keeps them coming back, right? And so sometimes, if you got freebies around that you got some free overgrips, or or you bag up the rackets, or you can even create different tiers and just charge a monthly subscription and just make it worth your while somehow. I think it just kind of depends what your market is, but those are some things that we think about when we talk about loyalty programs.
Yes, yes. Another thing that you can do that I started doing is the local club that I teach tennis a little bit also. So they have a locker room, and I put a lock on one of the lockers, and a lot of my clients I give the combination to. That way they don't have to drive to my house. I say, they know I'm at the club almost every day. They'll leave the rackets in the locker. And when I'm there for my lesson, I'll pick them up, bring them home. And the next day, if I go back, I'll put them in the locker and let them know, hey, your rackets are done. They're in the locker. And they have the combination.
That's a really good one. Yeah, especially if you like belong to a club or whatever that has that. That is a great way to have that and not
inconvenience them.
Yeah, it's a total convenience thing. So that's perfect. And I think the third one is follow up, and maybe that's one that we don't do as much of. And that could be like just sending a thank you, like after you've strung it, maybe a week after or so, and just say, hey, thanks. And I think that's why it's important to gather like emails and phone numbers so that you can maybe, most people nowadays just text, right? Maybe not email, but just text and say, hey, just want to say, thanks for the, the business, and just wanted to see how it was going. Maybe around the time of holidays as well, you can kind of go, hey, just have a Merry Christmas, or if their, birthday, things like that, you can just send them that and say, hey, happy birthday. Next time I string your racket, I'll give you a free grip or something like that. It's kind of one of those things. It's a good follow-up. And then possibly, if you kind of know how often they string, or you want to maybe get that rolling, so that they don't just wait and go, I guess maybe it's time to string my racket again. But if you want to do it more on a consistent basis, then maybe check with them every 4 weeks or something and just say, hey, just wanted to check in, see how everything was going with your rackets, with the strings, or hey, I've got this special going on now or whatever. So keep in contact with them, because sometimes they might not be thinking about getting their racket strung, but if they hear about it and it's like, oh yeah, I do actually need to restring that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And let me ask you something. Let me put you on the spot. But if you can't think of a good one right now, anyone that's listening, if they have a suggestion, I'm close to doing 900 rackets this year for the first time ever. I'm at like maybe 875 right now, and I'll probably hit it because I've been averaging at least 50 every month. But my main client is, almost a little more than 10% of my business. I've done 101 rackets for this one junior player. So would you suggest I get him a gift card or a thank you note or what? I mean, or what would you do? Would you do anything?
Right.
I mean, I thank him a ton. I congratulate him. Hey, you're my number one client, second year in a row. Should I get him a case of balls? Should I do something?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, how would that work to everyone's benefit, and
Yeah.
your so yeah, that's a lot. That's 100 rackets.
So you figure, he uses my string,
Right.
so it's my string. So that's, over $3,000,
Right.
that he spent on my business this year.
Yeah, man. That's a really good question, because I haven't really had that kind of a situation come up,
Yeah.
where what could you do that, like, you're really trying to, like, of course, continue that business and just be thankful for having that client.
I've got
I
one
think
more
what you
year
said.
before he goes to college, one more year and then he's at college. So
Okay, so he's not in college yet, so he's still in high school.
yeah.
So possibly, Yeah, I mean, because you want to keep it probably something tennis related, right?
Yeah, somebody
So
maybe get them a cool case of balls like French Open, Roland Garros. They have those specialty balls. You can buy a
yeah,
case of Roland Garros balls at the
yeah,
French.
yeah. Something like that might be nice.
Yeah, I'll think
Something
about
like
that,
that.
but I was just going to run that by
Yeah,
you.
you know what? Yeah, you just kind of got me like thinking about it, and that might be, yeah, something to think about because we always like appreciate the customers just for on the short term, like with giving them something free and stuff, but
Yeah,
something like that, you definitely want to encourage to keep going, and you appreciate the business, and but if you know of something that they like, I mean, this is a kid in high school, right? So
yeah,
they're not like maybe wanting a coffee, you know
right.
gift
Starbucks or
card,
something.
or
Yeah,
that's not their thing, but yeah, I would say tennis balls would probably be good, because everybody uses, you're always using tennis balls when you're playing a match,
or
or
do I get his mom and dad the gift certificate to a restaurant because they're the ones paying the bill?
oh yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, you're
It's
right,
true.
yeah,
Maybe
you know what,
get the parents a gift card.
that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Get a gift card, and then maybe get him a couple cans. I mean,
Yeah,
not a whole case, but
something
just
like
maybe
that.
maybe get him like 4 cans of
5 or 10, yeah,
balls,
4 or 5
and then
cans of balls.
yeah, and then give them a gift card.
Yeah.
That's yeah, you know what, that might be a good idea.
All right. Thank you. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt the flow of the show here, but
No, that's a good thing to kind of think about, because that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Just
yeah, right.
follow up and loyalty, and communicating and stuff like that. And so yeah, so the first part of um, customer retention feedback is building strong customer relationships. So we just talked about that, the top 3 points there. And then the next thing is when we encourage feedback. So, and I think this would be part of that third one, where we follow up, right? And what's the best way to get feedback? If you have a store, I think this part is kind of more like if you have a retail store or something like that, you can have a box or something that say, hey, you know what? Do you have a suggestion? Do you have something that you'd like to see? Kind of like, how they have those feedback
Yes.
boxes. And that way you can provide a way to encourage people to provide suggestions, because sometimes you don't know what you don't have, or what people are really liking you to offer. Like, I wish they had more, ball baskets, or I wish they had, used balls that we could have for free, or, just something that would work, that might be a way to support that. Um, and when we talk, and then the next thing too is, when we
Cold.
talk about creating a reward system or a loyalty program. So part of that could be like a VIP program, and I think we talked about that before, but in other videos. But it's kind of like, do we want to have different tiered programs, membership programs, and then there's different perks for those?
Right.
Do we want to replace overgrips for free, or provide, bag up the rackets, or if you have a certain service, every time you come in, you get a discount on a can of tennis balls, or whatever. I don't know, because
Discounts for cash, like gas stations sometimes do.
yeah, yeah, and
Restaurants do that. Discounts
yeah,
for cash, no credit card fees. I pay a Venmo fee. If someone, $70 yesterday, I ended up getting like $68 because of the Venmo fee.
right. And sometimes, we call those lost leaders too, right? Because we provide these deals, and sometimes some of them
Yeah.
end up being where we end up doing it for free, or we lose a little bit on it, but over the long term, it ends up being profitable for us, because people are just like, wow, these guys do this and that. It's kind of like, hey, this week, buy 3 cans, get a free can,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I'm constantly looking for deals if I can get deals
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
over grips or
Yep.
this or that. There
And
used to
that's the
be,
thing is, if you can find some really good deals, sometimes maybe pass that deal on to your customer, versus you netting a lower price on your product, right? Because a lot of times when you buy sets of string, buy 6, get 1 free or whatever it is, you're like, oh, wow, I just netted down my cost on the string. But maybe just, pass that on sometimes to your customer, because it doesn't cost you anything different.
Right.
And it could mean, more business later on.
Yeah.
That's just something to think about.
There were tonight at my lesson, there was a player next to me that I had never seen before. It looked like his mother was feeding him balls. He was ripping them. His dad was, sitting on the sideline picking up the balls. And so I went over and introduced myself, and because he broke a string when he was playing too. So I said, hey, are you on one of the college teams? And he's like, yeah, I'm a freshman. I just moved here from Long Island. I go to RIT. Who strings your rackets? Because I heard him break the string. He said, oh, my mom does the stringing. And they moved here now, so she's here while he's in college. But I said, well, look, if anything ever comes up and your mom can't string for you, here's my contact.
Yeah, it's perfect. And also, when we talk about like the VIP programs and offering different tiers, and you can also like have a VIP part of that, right, where people get maybe early access to new strings.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you're always going to have those certain players who are always looking for the latest string, the newest string. We know that it's all sometimes a big marketing ploy, right? That,
Yeah.
new strings are not going to be better, but that's the only way that companies continue to make money, is keep creating new products, right? I mean, that's
And a
how.
lot of times the companies want the top players to use their latest string.
Yeah.
Right.
So if it's a small company too, sometimes you can get some deals or discounts, or, get some promotional stuff where you can maybe pass that on. But yeah, if you have like some VIP customers, they'll get first access to those strings. You'll string them up, give them some info on that, promote that with them. So
Yeah.
that way they're like the first ones to get it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's always an option. And I think the next thing is kind of like community engagement, right? Because part of that is customer retention. Well, we're building community and we're trying to engage with our community. And a couple ways to do that, I think, is organize like actual events, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can have, like I've done this before, racket maintenance workshops. So like people would come in and I would talk about tennis strings. I would give tips on how to string, and like what's it, hybrid stringing and that kind of thing, getting the benefits out of hybrid stringing and stuff like that. So that's kind of what you can do. And then like you have a drawing, maybe offer some snacks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Have a product drawing at that time. Sometimes companies will give you that kind of stuff. Say, hey, this
Yeah.
would be,
Right.
they'll give you some free stuff if you work with them. So social media, like, so what's the best way maybe to use social media? When we talk about social media, what I think about is I think about Instagram, Facebook, and I mean, I know some people use TikTok and other things, but it's kind of like you got to figure out what your audience age wise is, because Facebook seems to be nowadays a little bit more for the older crowd, right?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of been around a lot longer, and I think maybe the younger crowd in their 20s and 30s, probably Instagram is probably the way to reach them, right? Or X,
Yeah.
or or even that. So kind of if you have some customers that are really happy with your service, that you think, hey, you know what? Maybe I can get have them do a testimonial, like a customer testimonials or success story or something, right? And then you can put that on your Instagram and stuff, or your Facebook, and have a referral program, right? So you have your customers, work for you by referring, other people to you, other clients to you.
Yeah.
And then, if you refer somebody and they tell me that you referred them, and the first time they string a racket, I will give you a free labor or something like that. I mean, I know that's, that's $20 or $25 out of your pocket, but it's now gone to another customer. So next time when the other customer comes back and then you have this customer, you're just going to double it, right?
Yeah.
So something like that.
Yep.
So I think a referral program is a good way to build community and build that customer base. Um, and if you really want to get detailed, you can track all of your metrics and stuff. See what like I think you've done that before, because you kind of lay out on a spreadsheet all of
Yeah.
your stringing and how much everything cost and the customers. And so if you look at that over time, you can kind of see certain things that stick out to you, as far as like, okay, so how can I use that information to build up this business? And what kind of trends do I see? And then kind of go with that, and start building your business from that.
Yeah.
uh, and get feedback from your customers, right? How you're doing. Maybe once a year or something. Hey, would you take the survey? And just have maybe 4 questions on there. How did you like the service? you know um, did you get some value out of it? Is there something that you'd like to know more about? Or is there something that you would like that isn't being provided? Or
Yeah.
just kind of that way, that helps you figure out maybe for the next year some new things to do as well. And it also tells your customers that you care about their input.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Seem engaged, seem like you care. It goes a long way with these with your clients and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's also an area that there a lot of these people that you string for, especially your repeat customers, are putting a lot of time and money into the sport of tennis. It's expensive playing indoors, and right now they're paying $40 for a court, and then they're doing lessons and privates. They're breaking strings, so they put a lot of money into it. And so if you can educate them and learn about your product and learn about the different strings and what they can do for your customer, they'll appreciate that, and that'll go a long way. You could even, like Patrick was saying earlier, you could hold a seminar, like promote it at the club, and you do one Friday evening or Saturday afternoon, and you can have a free seminar where you teach all these people about strings and what they can do for them and how they can help their game.
Mhm.
You might get a lot of new customers.
Yep. And I think lastly, the only thing I would say is
Mm,
seasonal offers. You know, um, and email. Make sure you keep building your email list. Like, get emails from all your customers, and then when it's seasonal, you can send them an email and just say, hey, just wanted to say happy holidays, or happy new year. Appreciate your business over this last year. Hope you have an awesome new year, or whatever, right? So it kind of gets like, oh wow, these people like actually thought about me. We all get those from our doctors, and we get those from other businesses um, that we do regular business with. And so sometimes you're like, oh, okay, that's just a marketing generated email. But sometimes you're like, oh wow, I really appreciate that they actually reached out and
yeah.
just sent me a thank you for that and stuff. So, and it's just a reminder, like, oh yeah, that's right, tennis, maybe it's time again. So it just kind of keeps your name in their data bank, right?
Yep.
um, yeah, so I think all these things are just kind of a good way to sum up um, building your stringing business, branding yourself. And for today, I think it was mostly just about customer retention and feedback, and keeping it going, and just scaling up your business. And so with that, I think that kind of concludes that. Any last statement, Brad?
A good
Or
series, man. You did a great job. You put a lot of work into it. I learned a lot. It refreshed my memory on a lot of stuff. I thought it'll be fun to go back and look through these videos. But I'm excited for the future, and some of the things we've talked about that will be hopefully bringing to YouTube in the new year.
yeah, and we still have
Couple
about
of
10
weeks.
days, or we still have about a couple weeks in this year. And so make sure you look for I think we have another special video set for this year. And so
Yep.
make sure you look for that. And we might do a live video. So I'll be putting that out soon. So we'll see what we can put together. So it should be fun. But yeah, I think it's been fun. And we've concluded a series, which is big. Actually
Yeah.
completed it. So yeah, I'll go back and put all the videos up, make sure everything is up. And again, please like, subscribe, comment, ask questions, anything you want to see on a next video. And we'll be starting the new series coming up. And I won't tell you what it is. You'll just have to watch for the next video.
Thanks, Pat.
All right. Thanks, Brad.